welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Suzanne Morphew, who was a mother, a wife, and a cancer survivor. On Monday, on Mother's Day, 2020, she vanished from her Colorado home without a trace. Her bike was found dumped down a ravine. Her helmet was miles away. No blood, no witnesses, no signs of struggle. Her husband, Barry Morphew, claimed he was out of town on a job, but his story kept changing. His phone data didn't match. His hotel room smelled like bleach. Now, 5 years later, her remains have been found, and an autopsy reveals something horrifying about Suzanne, that she was likely killed with cocktails of animal tranquilizers. Today, actually, Barry Morphew has been indicted again for murder. We're going to get all into that right after this.
Come along with me. Together with the truth you'll see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the light and share the vibe. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Helen's here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Spreading truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
The pearls were bound together through the storm and darkest weather. We search high, we search low, together everywhere we go. Justin's here and he's going live with the best fans by my side. We're a family, we hold strong. Together we can right the wrong. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars, searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea, we are one in this community. In the night or in the day, girls will light and lead the way. Justice heart and no support, together we will hold the fort. Nearly grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care.
Click play and come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comment here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comment here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the light and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. And the truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is June 20th, 2025. It is currently 5:18 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. I know a lot of you guys don't know about this case. This is an older case for a lot of you, but it's one that really does mean a lot to a lot of us. Suzanne and Barry Morphew, they were a couple, and that, let me just get a little picture here and I'll show it to you. They were a couple out of, well, they they moved to Colorado. Um, and we'll get into all of that in just 1 second. Let me just show you this photo of who Barry and Suzanne Morphew are, first of all. This is Barry and Suzanne Morphew in much better times than, where we're at today. Um, they were high school sweethearts, and things in their marriage took the wrong kind of turn once, uh not long after they had moved, and it just changed. It just changed. So for those of you that don't know, put a 1 in the chat if you don't know about this case at all. If you have no idea about this case, put a 1 in the chat, and that way I'll kind of know. Yeah, guys, if y'all don't mind sharing the live out, consider subscribing. We would love for you to join us. It is Sherry. It is. Say Andrea doesn't know. Okay. Andy doesn't know. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me just give you a little background on kind of what happened here. Okay. So before the headlines, before the missing posters, any of that, uh there was Barry and Suzanne Morphew. Barry, he was an athlete in his hometown. He was very confident. I think you would classify him as a jock. Is that what they call them? He was driven. He was a standout baseball player. He breathed baseball in, growing up. He earned a college scholarship, and he later ran a very successful landscaping business. They were just an all-American couple, a very small town but very driven. Um, People really looked up to Barry in the town. Like they were Barry and Suzanne. They were the popular kids growing up, good families. Suzanne, they were high school sweethearts. Like I said, she's very smart, beautiful. She was also a gentle soul. She grew up in a very devout Christian home, and she was known for her kindness and her quiet strength. They married young, like so many high school, loves do, and they had a beautiful wedding, all of that. Together, they had two daughters, Mallory rather, and Macy. I'm pretty sure it's Macy. And they built a life from the outside. Everything was very ideal, very ideal. They went to church. They posed for family photos. They did charitable things. They vacationed lavish vacations together. And when Suzanne, she was diagnosed with cancer, not once, twice, twice. Barry stayed by her side the entire time, and she fought like hell to survive. And she did both times. Both both times. In 2018, they decided they wanted to start fresh. So moving their family from Indiana to Colorado, Marysville, Colorado to be exact. It was a new home, a new chapter, virtually a new life. It was a fresh start. They had worked so many years. Their kids were getting, a little older, and, a new life, or at least so it seemed. But everything kind of went downhill from there. You just never know what's going on in what, you think it's a perfect marriage, but sometimes there's cracks developing, or there's already too many cracks. Suzanne was struggling after the move, not just physically, but emotionally. Friends say that she felt controlled, watched, and drained. She would talk to her friends quite a bit about, the stresses of life, like you do your girlfriends. And she, after the move, like Suzanne spent a lot of, they spent a lot of the money on their new home. It's a beautiful home, right? A beautiful home that they bought, but it put a lot of stress on them. So she confided in a guy friend, and it was through kind of a secret text message that she began reconnecting with an old friend, a man named Jeff Leiber. Leibler? I can't remember if it's Leiber or Leibler. In 2020, though, she was preparing to leave Barry. And that's where it really got bad, because they had just moved, right? Financial stress. It was kind of like a new lease on life for Suzanne. Um, she had a secret phone, and she also had a lot of aspirations that she wanted to do. She'd beat cancer twice. Her girls were about grown up, and she was ready to move on. Um, if you know Barry, her husband, he is about as alpha male as they come. Very controlling, domineering, uh, and there's that. She got to meet Jeff a couple times. She was having an affair uh, while she was still married. That is true. On Mother's Day 2020, Suzanne disappeared. Just flat out vanished. Suzanne was an avid mountain bike rider. Like, she loved to ride the bike uh, as a form of exercise, as a form of, a way to unwind, right? And it's, a good way to keep you healthy as well. And pretty much everything that the world thought about Barry and Suzanne started crumbling from that moment on. and it was downhill ever since. Ever since. So, the final days of Suzanne Morphew was Wednesday, May 6, 2020. Suzanne sends a chilling message to Barry, a message that probably in hindsight was like a farewell, and I think that's probably what triggered him. And I think it was kind of a warning. And the message was, "I'm done. I could care less what you're up to. Let's handle this civilly." Those certainly weren't the words of a happy wife. And I think it was her way of saying, "I'm done. We're moving on. Let's be civil about this, and you do your thing, I'll do mine." May 9th of 2020, uh this was Suzanne's last confirmed full day alive. She exchanged messages with Jeff, her new love interest, the man that she had been reconnecting. They had met in high school. They had talked about their future together, trips that they wanted to take, all of that. That day, Barry claimed he was preparing for a last minute landscaping job in Broomfield, Colorado, over 150 miles away. It was an odd timing. She didn't know anything about he was doing a job like that, and it was suddenly very urgent. And by nightfall, Suzanne had stopped responding to text. She was out in her, like, by her pool, sending Jeff, some pictures that you might send to your new love fling, right? By Mother's Day, 5 a.m., before the sun even rose, Barry Morphew leaves the family home for Broomfield. He says Suzanne was sleeping when he left, but cellular phone data says different. It puts both of them at the home. Later that morning, Suzanne's phone activity stops cold around mid-morning. She never replies to her daughter's Mother's Day messages. And more than anything, Suzanne loved being a mother. She would absolutely have replied to her daughter's, Mother's Day message. So that obviously kind of set off some red flags. She would never ignore it, much less on Mother's Day, right? That afternoon, her daughters, you know, didn't reply, thought it was a little weird, but they tried to get a hold of her later that afternoon. They couldn't get a hold of her. Uh, the girls called their neighbor and asked the neighbor to check on Suzanne. The neighbor went over there, and Suzanne didn't answer the door, and there was nothing. Her bicycle is discovered down a ravine close to their home. There's no blood, there's no damage, no struggle. It felt very, very staged from jump. Later, her helmet was found in a completely different area, very neatly placed, almost as if someone wanted it to be found. That evening, Barry sends a text that feels, I would say, performative at best, very much at best. He says, "Happy Mother's Day. I love you." But Suzanne never responds. Obviously, because she's already gone by this time. By Monday, the next day, May 11th, law enforcement is already on it. The search efforts began, dogs, drones, helicopters. The area is combed, but nothing ever turns up. Not her body, not her clothing, not her phone. She's just missing, and things are. People almost immediately start looking at Barry. Almost absolutely immediately. But Barry, he gives this plea. It's so awkward. He makes a video and he's like, "Oh, Suzanne, if you're out there," kind of thing. Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. His demeanor is off. It's just off, all of it. And pretty soon after that, investigators start digging and they hit the jackpot. Excuse me. Barry, they had noticed that Barry had visited 5 different trash bins on his trip. That's a lot of, throwing out trash in one trip, right? They look at his hotel room. It smells like a pool. It smells like a pool, like a straight up pool. There is so much bleach used. It's incredible. He claimed that he was chasing chipmunks near the house the morning that Suzanne disappeared. What really happened was he allegedly shot her with a dart tranquilizer, an animal tranquilizer. And there is only so much you can do after that hits you. You know you're going down, but she is running for her life in the meantime. And he says he's out chasing and shooting chipmunks that day. He was hunting his wife, was what he was doing. Suzanne's phone, I think it was later found discarded. There was also a cap, a tranquilizer cap, like for the dart that goes on the dart in the dryer. Okay. So there's that. It's 24 hours that really changed everything. She was giving that selfie, right? Let's see here. Did I leave anything out? I think that's during the investigation as well. Barry Morphew's phone data it raised a lot of questions. His phone was put into airplane mode multiple times driving to Broomfield, Colorado. Investigators say the gaps in the data suggest an effort to hide his exact location and movement. Even worse, GPS logs show that Barry made multiple stops to throw away trash. I already told you that, in different locations, gas stations, alleys, and dumpsters. What was he disposing of, right? Now, Suzanne's, I think Barry found Suzanne sending pictures. She was sending very intimate pictures to her love interest. I think with that message, and he would watch her. I think that just set him over the edge when he knew that she was sending pictures to another man. Yeah. Yep. That's right, Harper. That's why he had the tranquilizers, is he which I think is illegal to do. Right? Me too, RKB. God, me too. I've been waiting for this day so much. So much. So it's never good whenever your wife says, let's, be civil about this. And then he may have seen her taking those intimate pictures, and then her bike is found, her helmet is found, her husband's phone went dark, his trucks moved before sunrise, and Suzanne Morphew is never seen again. That's definitely not a bike ride. That's a cover up, to say the very least. So, let me see. Barry Morphew refused a polygraph test. He asked for immunity before offering to cooperate. He offered vague inconsistencies, answers about the timeline. And he started pointing fingers at a mountain lion. A mountain lion must have got her. Before any forensic evidence came back, he was pointing at a mountain lion. Who really puts their phone in airplane mode? For what? Right? Nobody does that. Nobody does that. He was very busy that morning before he went out on his job from about 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. So the tranquilizer dart was in the dryer. A tranquilizer gun and darts were in Barry's possession. It was, again, for the antlers. DNA evidence in Suzanne's car from an unknown male, but Barry's wasn't found. So there was an unknown male DNA in her car, but her husband's wasn't in there. Her husband's DNA should have been in there, regardless whether he did anything or not. On May 5th, 2021, Barry is arrested for first-degree murder, tampering with a deceased human body, and attempting to influence a public servant. Yes, you heard that right. So, because he used a tranquilizer gun to sedate Suzanne and murder her to prevent her from leaving. They called this a, quote, deliberate and premeditated killing. But it was a complicated case because they didn't know where Suzanne was. There was no body, there was no witness, and there was not a single drop of blood. Nothing. It was a circumstantial case. Some would say it might have been a strong circumstantial case, but a circumstantial case is a risky case when you don't have a body. Right? So they ended up, prosecutor ended up dropping it without prejudice, meaning they can come back again and charge you if new evidence comes up. And I was just talking to, I think, ICU the other day about this. It's like I I hope this mother chicken doesn't get free for the rest of his life. Well, something happened after all of this took place, before he was arrested, or before the grand jury indicted him again. Suzanne's body was found, and let me show you this right here. The Sun did an excellent piece on this. This is so important as well. They weren't looking for Suzanne's body whenever they found Suzanne's body. They weren't even looking for her body. They were looking for another missing person. But guess what? They found, it was so wild how they found her body. Right? It was obviously, it had been there a while. It was out, where was it? Like way out in the middle of no freaking where. They thought that she would have been closer to home. And, you know, Barry had a landscaping business. He had all kinds of big equipment. And everyone thought that this is where Suzanne was found.
Setting cause of death for investigators is now homicide by, as you mentioned, by undetermined means in the setting of it's a chemical. I'm having a hard time saying it. How do you say that? Butorphanol, azaparone.
That's where she was found. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it where she was found. Right here. Law enforcement inadvertently discovered Morphew's remains in Moffat, Colorado. That's where they, oh crap, that's where they found her. Last September during a search for another missing Colorado woman. And she's just like right here on the road. There's probably nobody that drives through there, like in the middle, you know. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it. And they did do an autopsy on her, you know. Let me show you this. It was obviously advanced decomposition because she had been there a long time.
Of death is officially homicide. Suzanne Morphew was killed by someone, according to her autopsy report. That report also says she had animal tranquilizers in her system.
11 News reporter Melissa Henry is in studio to break this down. And Melissa, Morphew's autopsy is now public 7 months after her remains were found in that area on the screen behind you.
And Adam, new tonight, we know a ski mask and a weathered bullet are evidence tied to Morphew's remains. The autopsy report says Morphew died from homicide by unspecified means in the setting of drugs commonly used to sedate large wildlife like bears. The medical examiner noted several clothing items were found with Morphew's bones, but there's no mention in the autopsy of anyone's DNA being on those items. A legal expert who spent years prosecuting homicide cases tells me investigators now likely are trying to figure out who would have knowledge of and access to those wildlife tranquilizers in order to get closer to finding a suspect.
These types of drugs that I would think are a little more difficult to get because they're sedatives. They're used for veterinarians. So the question is, how easy are these things to get?
Suzanne's husband, Barry Morphew, was arrested in 2021, but charges have since been dropped. His attorneys sent a statement today saying, in part, the Morphews have prayed the authorities would remove their blinders and not only find Suzanne, but find the suspect responsible for her disappearance and murder. However, the Morphews are left with more questions than answers. We're looking into those drugs found in Morphew's system, and we'll have more on that tonight at 10. Back to you.
Yep, we'll keep following the case. Melissa, thank you. Let's turn to Chief Meteorologist Brian Bledsoe, get an update from the 11 breaking weather leader.
Pretty nice.
Okay, so there's that. Now this one's a little more in depth. This is what Barry Morphew's, the washing machine did it. Yeah, this is what Barry Morphew's attorneys were saying.
We are tracking this morning. A beloved mother, a friend, loved in our community. Some answers for friends, but a lot of questions remain.
Yeah, that they do. Investigators say that Suzanne Morphew's remains have been found. Morphew was last seen on Mother's Day 3 years ago. Her disappearance made national headlines, and the case was featured on 48 Hours with coverage thanks to our station.
She left behind 2 teenage daughters and a husband, Barry Morphew. Murder charges against him were later dropped. According to the CBI, the remains were located during the course of a search last Friday and were positively identified by the coroner's office just yesterday. Investigators were searching on an investigation that's not related to her disappearance when those remains were found. Our own investigative reporter Matt Kroschel joins us live now. Matt, you just spoke to one of Suzanne Morphew's friends.
Literally minutes ago, and I can't imagine, Matt, what she's going through, but what did she have to say?
Tisha Leeway has...
Okay, guys, so listen to this. Suzanne, let me tell you how desolate the place is. She was found in Saguache County. It's spelled a little different. And it is, guess how many people's in the county? Guess how many people's in the county? It spans 3,200 square miles. And there is roughly 2 people per square mile. 2 people per square mile. It was very much deep in the mountains. She was buried in sagebrush field 50 miles south on flat, open land. Barry and investigators later pointed out that he had knowledge of the land through hunting. Location matters. It's not random. It's never random. It's always a place they know, that they feel comfortable.
Has been really pivotal in this over the years, helping to organize vigils, staying in touch with Suzanne's family out of state, really trying to just keep this in the news and headlines because it's been considered a cold case now for months. She, of course, reacting to this news, she said she was actually at work when she found out about all of this and is saying that right now, that the shock of the fact that they found these remains is now past. She's hoping that justice prevails.
The 3 years, and a lot of us have talked and said, maybe they will never find her, but I don't know. I believe it was a grace of God that they were looking, unfortunately, for someone else they did not find, but they did find her, and I pray that they find the person that they were looking for also.
CBI agents are the ones confirming for us that they were in the middle of another investigation down there in the San Luis Valley when they stumbled across this case, which has been in the news for so long now. Everyone's been tracking this thing. They're not giving very much about that original investigation or the exact location where these remains were found, but those are questions that we are still working to confirm some more information that we're getting into our investigative team here right now.
There are so many questions tied to this case.
I bet. Yeah, just talking with her friend. And she's probably heartbroken, though, to hear that her friend is gone.
It's a hard feeling to have where it's like, now we have a little bit more here. We have
A little closure.
A little bit of closure, but yet the justice part of all of this is what they are still going to continue on. They say those vigils and remembering this, keeping it out there, talking about Suzanne, that's not going to stop.
You've been on the phone with a lot of investigators working to find out more details for us, Matt.
Hopefully we'll be able to pass along even more here throughout the afternoon.
All right, thanks so much. Well, we reached out to Barry Morphew's lawyer. He tells us that Barry is as innocent as he was from day one.
Yeah, his attorney sent us a statement that says, in part, quote, Barry is with his daughters and they are all struggling with immense shock and grief after learning today that their mother and wife, whom they deeply love, was found deceased. They had faith that their wife and mom would walk back into their lives again. The news is heartbreaking. Investigators say that Suzanne's remains were found in a small town in rural southern Colorado.
They were discovered in Moffett. Take a look at this map. You can see Moffett is west of Colorado Springs. It's in Saguache County. I checked, it's about 150 miles from Colorado Springs, which is about a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, and take a look at this video. This is an aerial view of the area from a helicopter. We got this from our sister station. Moffett, it's a small town with a population of only about 100 residents. Law enforcement haven't provided a specific location on where her remains were located. But of course, we have been staying on top of this story since the tragedy broke.
Now we have a look at the developments that have taken place so far. Our former reporter Spencer Wilson with our sister station has more.
The search for Suzanne captured the nation's attention. A mother who seemingly vanished on a bike ride in 2020. Her husband, Barry Morphew, saying he believed that she was abducted.
We'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you.
Okay.
Armies.
That's the video that he made that I was telling you about. Suzanne, if you're out there, we love you. He doesn't have a sympathetic
volunteers
bone in
took
his
to
body.
the area around their home, searching for any signs of Suzanne.
She's just the brightest light ever.
And after a year of searching,
I'm gonna show you in a
suspicion turned to Barry, who was arrested and charged with her murder, along with tampering with physical evidence, as well as attempting to influence a public servant. That case became riddled with complications, with Barry's lawyers successfully getting the case dismissed with the ability to file charges again at a later date, should new evidence arise. Just last week, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation found Morphew's body in Moffett. Locals tell us the search party was working right here. The area is just south of Salida, around a 30-minute drive. So the question remains, how did she end up out here, and who brought her here?
Questions we're trying to figure out. Here's a closer look at the timeline. May 10th, 2020, it was Mother's Day, the day that Suzanne was reported missing. It was initially reported she may have disappeared while on a bike ride. 7 days later, Suzanne's husband, Barry, shared a video asking for the public's help finding his wife.
Almost a year later, Barry was arrested on May 5th, 2021. Another year later, those murder charges were dismissed without prejudice on April 18th, 2022. In May of this year, this officially became a cold case. Yesterday, the announcement that her remains were found. This, once again, is an active investigation. Now, we spoke with a legal expert about this case.
He tells us there's a lot of things that investigators will need to figure out before they can determine a cause of death.
The only thing we know at this point in time is that they found her body. We don't know the circumstances. We don't know if the coroner is going to be able to get any evidence off of the body. It's 2 years old. So there's going to be degradation of evidence.
Now, 11 News was the first to break this story when it first came out. Make sure to download our 11 Breaking News app, and we will send alerts like this one right to your phone. Let's get to your no-wait weather with meteorologist Sydney Jackson.
Let me show you this. Let me show you a little bit about Moffett. This is Moffett. That's the town right there. That's it. It's got a post office. Three pictures. And this is the town of Moffett. And it's dry. There's nothing out here. This is the town. There's not even a stoplight. Not even a stoplight. Right, just there's the big Rockies. Rally in Valley, whatever that means. And that's it. I don't know what the climate is there, if it's, you know, the beautiful Rockies. And she was found out in these roads. Just there. Hey, Smiley, soldier girl. What is it? What did Sherry Lynn say? Thank you, Smiley. A dot on the map. Yeah. Yeah. And let me just show you some of these. Watch this. Like if you go out, like these roads. Hold on. There's some roads that just don't even, you know, they're not even. People take pictures all around here. It's amazing. Wow. Google Earth's amazing. Really is. But I mean, this is the area. I mean, it looks like someplace from Mars. It really does. It looks like Mars. Doesn't it? Because it's like, I don't know. I'm so used to green. I'm so used to green. Hello, Buddha, everyone. All right. So moving on here. So Barry Morphew has been charged again, the second time, 5 years after Suzanne Morphew vanished on Mother's Day. I want to show you something. I hope it doesn't kick me off if I show you this. It might, but we'll give it a whirl. If it does, it does. Barry Morphew did one interview and one interview only with who was it? I think it was Inside Edition or something like that. Okay. These are some of Suzanne's text messages, by the way. Like, if you want to learn something like more into this case, like go deep diving, there's a lot of there's a lot of links. I was reading this. Suzanne says, I was a broken girl just looking for stability and no confidence in who I was. He thinks we are great as long as he's getting what he wants. There's all kinds of text messages here. The person wrote, I do worry about your safety. If things move forward, you would have to protect yourself. I'm not sure how much money you have quick access to, but I would try to find a way to set some aside at all possible. Building a house would not be good right now, and I think having those conversations with Macy are definitely hard. I know you don't want her to have to worry about all that. Think about you and your mom, though you got through some hard times together. But there's all kinds of messages here if you want to. And this, oops, 1 second. This is a good website. It tells you about all the timeline and stuff. I'll drop it in the chat. Did Barry remarry? That's funny. No, he hasn't. He was down in Mexico for a while. But nope, he never remarried. I don't think anybody would have him. Now, Barry and Suzanne's daughters, they're beautiful, bright, young gals, but they have stood with their father. They've stood with their father. And I think about that because it would have to be very difficult to know your father unalived your mother, and she's gone, and all you have left is your father. I hope so. I hope so. He's a joke. He's a freaking joke. Okay. All right. I'm going to play this, but I'm going to have to stop it often. And if I get kicked off, I get kicked off. ABC's a asshole sometimes. So let's, I'm going to have to put a cover over it, but it's really good to hear what Barry and his daughters say here. We'll turn the music up a little bit. Fair use disclaimer, ABC News. Yeah.
Suing prosecutors after they dropped all charges last year. Now, Reshef has an exclusive interview with Morphew and his daughters. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you guys. Barry Morphew says his life is ruined. That $15 million civil suit accuses prosecutors and law enforcement.
Oh, that's right. After they dropped charges on him, he sued them for $15 million, saying his life was over. Didn't go nowhere.
Of lying and withholding evidence, focusing only on Barry Morphew and humiliating him. But authorities tell us they didn't drop the charges because they thought Barry was innocent. They felt they didn't have enough evidence to convict without Suzanne's body.
This morning, demands for
He's
justice for
sin.
Suzanne Morphew, 3 years after the Colorado mom mysteriously vanished on
Guilty
Mother's
as
Day
sin.
in 2020. Authorities believe she is dead, her body never found, now officially classified a cold case.
Somebody in this community needs to keep her name out there.
Suzanne's husband, Barry.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, what would you do if you was that young and you lost your family? You lost your mom, and they saying your dad did it. I really don't like.
Barry initially charged with first-degree murder and
That's the
tampering
blood
with
money that
evidence,
becomes.
but those charges dropped just before his trial. Now Barry and his daughters Macy and Mallory are speaking exclusively to ABC News, claiming his life has been ruined by false accusations.
What have these last 3 years been like for you?
Very
very sad, very confusing.
Just so traumatic. Like literally our worst nightmare.
Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of your wife?
Absolutely not. It's very hurtful to lose your reputation and your integrity.
Barry filing a $15 million civil suit against prosecutors, the sheriff, and several investigators.
So I know that 15 million is a huge number, but I don't think that, in my mind, that covers any of the damage that's happened to Barry and the girls.
Maybe the girls.
And if they would just.
But the father took him. They took him is what they did. Dummy.
Look for Suzanne outside of where they hypothesized Barry could have possibly.
Well, guess what? They found her, and there's no hypothesization anymore. It's a fact, mother chicken.
Buried her remains. They could find her.
His daughters standing by him. You never had a shred of doubt once you heard the evidence from law enforcement against your dad?
I've never had a shred of doubt.
Not one.
Prosecutors say at the time they believed that they were close to finding Suzanne's body and dropped those charges against Barry, hoping for additional evidence. Authorities tell ABC News they still believe Barry Morphew could be involved in his wife's disappearance and aren't ruling out future charges. Law enforcement, the DAs, believe that they had their guy, and they believe that there's a mountain of evidence against you.
Let me tell you something. Barry Morphew is another Edgar. He is absolutely another Edgar, in my opinion. He is Edgar on steroids, in my opinion.
Not Suzanne's body.
They're wrong. They've got tunnel vision. And they looked at one person.
Nobody else would hurt Suzanne.
And they've got too much pride to say they're wrong and look somewhere else.
These charges were dropped without prejudice, which means if authorities feel like there's more evidence, they could charge you again. Do you live with fear of that?
Well, I was innocent the first time they arrested me.
And the day has come, ladies and gentlemen. The day has come that Mr. Morphew has been arrested in doodly. Yes, I feel bad for their kids. I feel bad for the kids, but I think they'll know one of these days. One of these days. They just don't want to lose their dad too. I get that. But justice does have to come.
So I'm sure it's possible, but I don't have anything to worry about. I've done nothing wrong.
Was there any indication before she disappeared that something was amiss?
No.
Did you observe any fights, arguments, disagreements between your mom and your dad that concerned you before?
No.
Prosecutors offering texts which appear to show a strained marriage. Suzanne referring to Barry as Jekyll and Hyde. And just before she disappeared, telling...
Like I said, Edgar 2.0, everyone. Edgar 2.0.
Barry, I'm done. Suzanne
that set him off.
Fighting in a friend. Macy and I had a very tough talk yesterday. She's weary of the tension here. She knows how he is toward me and almost begged me to divorce him. He's still pulling Mal in. But Barry and his daughters deny the marriage was in trouble.
We had a wonderful life, wonderful marriage. She was just so loving and giving and such a good mother.
You're not a good actor, Barry. You're not a good actor. Keep your landscaping job. Now you'll be doing landscaping on the side of a highway.
For her disappearance, Suzanne fighting cancer.
And I know that she was going through chemotherapy.
Beat cancer
for the
twice,
last couple
y'all.
years before her disappearance, and I know she was going through some hard things and made some bad decisions.
What kind of bad decisions?
She was really having trouble with the chemotherapy, and the drugs.
Investigators also say she was involved with someone else.
When you found out that Suzanne was having an affair,
It was not on
what was your
drugs.
first thought?
Idiot.
My heart was broke.
The only drugs is the ones you put in her berry.
My heart was
animal tranquilizer.
broken. I didn't believe it.
What's been the hardest part?
Just not having mom.
Not knowing.
It's really
Sad.
difficult,
It's really sad.
especially because of the lack of closure we have.
And Barry Morphew has moved out of Colorado because he says the public and media scrutiny has been too much on him and his daughters. The Chaffee County Sheriff's Office and DA Linda Stanley both saying they cannot comment on pending litigation or on ongoing investigation.
Well, it didn't kick me off because I gabbed through the whole thing, I guess, and had the music up. Usually ABC, it's rough. Kicks you off. All right. Moving on. Now investigators have once again pointed the finger at Barry Morphew, says the Sun. A federal jury indicted Barry on the charges that he was arrested in Arizona on Friday, and he was arrested. I wonder if I got his new mugshot. Barry Morphew, new mugshot, 2025. Do we got an image? Let's see if we got a new image. Oh, we don't got. I guess they used his old image. Looky here, y'all. Let's see here. I got the new grand jury indictment. You want to see the grand jury indictment? 12th Judicial District Grand Jury, Alamosa County Courthouse. Investigators responded to Morphew at his residence at 19057 Puma Path near Salida, Colorado, to investigate the missing persons report. The house was locked and Suzanne was not home. Her vehicle was in the garage. Her redacted vehicle was in the garage, and there was no sign of forced entry, and her bike was missing. Later that evening, her bike was located down a hillside off the road between her house and Highway 50. The bike was located less than a mile from the Morphew home. On May 14, 2020, her bike helmet was located 10 meters off the side of Highway 50, approximately 1.52 miles west of Morphew's house and approximately 0.84 miles west of where her bike was located. Barry Morphew was interviewed and told police that he set an alarm and woke up at 4:30 a.m. May 10th, 2020. He told police that he had left at 5 a.m. on May 10th, 2020 for a pre-planned trip to Broomfield, Colorado. According to Barry Morphew, Suzanne was still asleep in her bed when he left the house at 5 a.m. on May 10th, 2020. He told police that she had planned for a bike ride that day. How convenient. Barry Morphew stated that upon arriving in Broomfield that morning, he checked into the hotel, leaving shortly after for the job site. He told police that he had received a call around 5 p.m. on May 10, 2020 from his neighbors while physically at Broomfield job site. The neighbor told Barry Morphew that his daughters were concerned because they could not reach Suzanne all day. Barry instructed the neighbor to check the house and specifically to look for her bike. The neighbors reported to Barry that neither Suzanne nor the bike were at the house, and Barry then instructed them to call the sheriff. Isn't that interesting? In early interviews, Barry Morphew he told law enforcement that their marriage to Suzanne Morphew was, quote, the best, end quote, and that the two had a, quote, wonderful weekend, end quote, together. When Barry was asked whether Suzanne would say anything different about their relationship, Barry stated, quote, no, end quote. Barry Morphew's statement about the marriage to Suzanne were inconsistent with what other witnesses' account and evidence located. Remember, there was those text messages. He was so dumb to just say it was perfect. Bear should have stuck to dirt. Yes, Candace, exactly. Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. You're exactly right. You should have stuck to that, to say the least. If anybody wants this PDF, I'll share it with you guys, and you can read it yourself as well. 100 chipmunks, what a freak. I know, right? That's the Colorado Sun. Let's see here. So we're going to just wait. It's a story that I will definitely be following. This is right where they found her remains at. Right here. Side the highway. He had to dig a grave for her. He had to dig a grave for her. It's just crazy. I just dropped it in chat. You can click on that PDF and it's through the Colorado Sun. So there's that. All right, guys, I will be back here in just a little bit. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be speaking about some new stuff with the Jack and Lily Sullivan case. Hold on to your bootstraps, honeys, because it's going down. Yeah. I mean, it was beside the road. Like, that's dangerous. Hello, Mandy. Thank you, Robin. Are you talking about TD sightings? Who's TD? TD sighting. What do you mean, True Crime Junkie? Thank you, baby kisses. I think I'm going to go take a walk before I go live again. I need a walk and I need some caffeine. I need some caffeine. Travis Decker. I'm planning on talking about Travis Decker soon. I was just looking it up. Just looking up Travis Decker. We got a lot of cases right now, right? We still got to talk about Sebastian. We've got Lily and Jack Sullivan. We've got Travis Decker. We've got the little guy out of hold on, let me think of his name. It goes blank. They're looking for him in a landfill. Manny Collins. Sorry, just takes a minute sometimes. And it's 90 degrees here today. You need water. Ooh. And I need to keep up track with the little infant where the dad threw him over the bridge in New York. He likes to play that daughter card. Yeah. I know. Stove Feather. It's so sad. Little Manny. It breaks my heart that he was crying and his neighbor comforted him the day before he went missing. And we've got I can't think right now, guys. We got Clara Bell, and we've also got hold on. I'll think of it. It just takes a second. Limes killed my brain. Yeah, with Summer, but there's the indigenous gal, young sweet gal. I'll think of it. Just give me a second. I can't think of it. Emily. I think it's Emily. Emily Pike. Emily Pike. Thank you. Yes. No court for Claire mom until July. She's been held in jail. Let me tell you something. And I'm watching another case right now. There is another indigenous. She's an adult, but she's been missing. Spirit, I wish something would happen with Maya. God, I wish something would happen with Maya. I'm telling you what, they have looked everywhere for her. My hair, not New York, but it's fine. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, my dear. I probably should have worn my darker ones. I probably should have worn my darker ones with this. Oh well. This guy is guilty of sin. Hell yes, he is. Hell yes, he is. Michael Vaughn, Kyron, absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many. So many. What did Candace say? Why isn't it highlighted? Was that? No, honey. You wasn't timed out. No, baby. You would never be timed out here. Never, 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 Candace. I don't know what you mean. Why isn't it highlighted? I cried yesterday because YouTube suggested one of Maya's videos of hers. No, Candace, you are family, girlfriend. Hopefully it's a sign that something will happen in Maya's case. I pray. I pray, Spirit. Gosh. All right, guys, I'll be back here in just a little bit. Number, please. My phone number? Is that what you mean? There you go. Oh, thank you, Spirit Seeker. I need to go get some caffeine. I need a second wind. I need a second wind. There's not enough hours in the day. There's just not. What did Shirley say? You're very shocked that Barry got a bond. Did he get a bond? Like, he was arrested. He might run this time. Might run this time. See. Yes, Trina. 3 million cash only bond. He's a creep. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, babies. All right, guys. I'll see you guys here in just a little bit. Probably hour and a half-ish. Someone just sent me a... Oh. Where did my text messages go? Okay. No, that's not him. I know a lot of people thinking this is Travis Decker. This ain't Travis. It's not Travis. That's not him. Nope. A lot of people are thinking it is. Do y'all think that's Travis? I agree, Candace. I don't think it's him at all. T. Decker is deep in the woods mountains. I don't think so. All right, guys. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Love you all. See you guys shortly. Bye-bye.